Oh, yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers War for Cybertron Siege number 45, and this is the Autobot Battlemaster Rung. For people not familiar with the IDW comics, Rung may be a completely unheard of character for you. He was a character that was created for those comics and ended up going from kind of a background character to a major character to a very important character in the mythos. And this is the first toy he's ever officially received. Now, personally, I would have loved a deluxe class Rung, something much more articulated and something that scales better with his, compatriots, his crewmates from the Lost Light. But, it's a start. Just because we're getting this doesn't mean we never will get a deluxe Rung. Hopefully, maybe sometime during the War for Cybertron series we will. Maybe in Chapter 3. But it is very cool to get either way, and he is a completely new mold, which is something not seen very often in the Battlemaster assortment. And he's actually very well sculpted. He's got a lot of sculpted and painted detail on him. But anyway, if you've seen my reviews before, you know how this goes. We're going to take a look at Rung's packaging, look at his instructions, and we'll see the figure himself in both his robot and weapon modes. Do some group shots, things like that, and at the end I'll give my final thoughts. So Rung's packaging is very, very nicely done with the artwork. You can see him, his big old eyebrows, which I love. He's got these little kind of chibi proportions because they are obviously basing this off of the Battlemaster figure, who's a very small character. So it looks a little odd compared to the generally thin, lanky Rung that you're normally used to looking at. But you can see him. He's not really battling per se, which is very characteristic of him because he's supposed to be just a psychologist. Doesn't really fight. So you can see he looks kind of scared, kind of out of place in the battlefield, which in this case works very well. You can see some other characters in the background. That looks like I'm not entirely sure. I was gonna say Brunt, but he's got hands, and I think that might be Wheeljack back there because you can see the wings. Hard to tell though because it's cut off. Anyway, very cool piece of art. I'm digging that. Hoping one day we can buy prints of all these. Here on the back, you can just see the renders of his robot and weapon modes. Only takes 4 steps to convert him. He does have these new cool fire blast effects, which kind of like a corkscrew thing going on. And not entirely sure what that's supposed to be, what it's called, but we'll see it here in a moment on the instructions. So here we have Rung's instruction sheet. You can see a nice big render of him on the front there, and a lot of emphasis on the eyebrows there, so that's always appreciated. Open this up, and it is probably the shortest instruction sheet in all of Transformers Siege. So a few steps, and then it turns into what's called a cerebral circuit scanner. So I'm not even sure if that's technically a weapon, despite the fire blast effects. And that's it. That was easy. Now here's Rung himself, along with his new fire blast effects, which are very cool. They kind of have this like corkscrew laser effect going on there. And Rung himself is not wanting for detail. He is very well sculpted, very well painted, and kind of takes the edge off the fact that he's such a small figure. But face sculpt looks really nice. Unfortunately, they didn't paint his eyebrows, so that's a shame. We got the big old jewel thing in his chest, which is nice. His feet, because of his transformation to weapon mode, become these weird claw things, so that looks a little strange. And then he's got the weapon on his back, like the other Battlemasters. However, his is not removable. It is attached permanently by a pin, so there is no taking it off, having him wield it, or anything. It is permanently on there. So that's different. It's a shame, but also, this piece doesn't really work as a weapon on its own anyway. So yeah, he's got the standard articulation, ball joints in the shoulders and hips. So he moves just the same as the other Battlemasters. And that's really it for his robot mode. It does look awesome. It's probably the best looking Battlemaster that we've received in the Siege line, as far as sculpting and paint and all that. But let's go ahead and transform him. It's very simple. We're gonna press his legs together, keep him straight. Going to swing this back portion up, I'm going to swing his arms up into it, like this. Like so. Then, of course, you just go ahead and attach his Fire Blast effects if you so choose. Make it look a little more impressive. Get down there, get him straight. And that is it. That is the Cerebral Circuit Scanner. Gotta say, probably the weakest weapon mode at all the Battle Masters. It is silly looking, though it is meant to be an homage to Rung's actual alt mode, which went unknown for the longest time in the comics until it was finally revealed at the very end to be a matrix maker, basically. You turn to this mode and construct extra matrices, just like, the Matrix of Leadership, which is what they use to defeat the big bad of the comic there. So overall, as an homage, it works really well as a weapon. It's utterly ridiculous looking, and because the handle is so far away from the end of this stock part here, figures basically have to hold it straight armed like a bazooka. And to demonstrate, here's Rung's longtime patient, Red Alert, wielding his own psychiatrist-like weapon. So you can get a little silly with this if you want to. And I don't know, if you can use your imagination, it looks cool. Because of the colors, it stands out very well. The Fire Blast effects are really neat, and you can have a lot of fun with those, attaching them to other weapons or what have you. If you want to leave Rung as just his robot mode, which personally I would in a display because he's just so cool looking in that mode. But it makes for a decent weapon. Again, hold it mostly straight armed, unless you want to attach it to the side there on the forearm, the shoulder. You could always do that. But overall, it's simple, kind of quirky, like Rung himself, but it's fun to have. So, final thoughts on this guy. He is what he is. He's a battle master. As far as battle masters go, he's not a great one, as far as the function of turning into a believable looking weapon. As far as a character, of himself, as far as a robot and, his fictional significance, he might be a must-have for you. If you're a fan of the More Than Meets the Eye, Lost Light comics, you'll probably want to pick this guy up. I imagine a lot of them are going to fly off the shelves pretty quickly for all the James Roberts fans out there. Naturally, I'm one of those people. I really enjoyed the Lost Light and More Than Meets the Eye comics, and it's a shame that Rung's gone from us already, possibly never to be seen again in fiction, but time will tell. And honestly, that's really all there is to say about old Rung here. He's a guy. Something. Look how cool Red Alert looks. I mean, he's pretty sweet, right? Good old Red Alert with his weapon. Anyway, Do you guys remember what we started this video about? Yeah, me neither. That's weird. Alright, I guess I'll just end it here, because I don't remember what I was talking about. Well, if you have anything to say about whatever we just did, comment on it. If you guys remember, I don't know. If you liked it, make sure to toss it a thumbs up. Let YouTube know you liked, Red Alert, I think. If you want to see more of my videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you always get a heads up when I post something new. And with all that said, I will see you next time. Seriously though, what was this video about?